Have you ever reheated a healthy meal? Spinach soup, leftover chicken, or maybe mashed potatoes? And thought, at least I'm eating clean? But what if that one simple act silently damaged your brain, your gut, or your heart, without you ever realizing it? It sounds unbelievable. But science now shows that some of the most nutritious foods can quietly turn toxic when reheated, creating compounds linked to inflammation, memory loss, and even cancer. Especially for older adults, when your body becomes more sensitive to hidden stress. These kitchen habits matter more than ever. A 2015 study published in the World Journal of Gastrointestinal Oncology revealed that nitrosamines, commonly formed when nitrate-rich foods are reheated, are strongly associated with increased risk of stomach cancer. English. Auto-generate. And that's just one of several warning signs. I'm Dr. James, and today we're going to talk about 5 innocent, everyday foods that may be hurting you when reheated, and what to do instead. This video might surprise you, but more than that, it might quietly protect your brain, your digestion, and your energy for years to come. Because the danger isn't just the food, it's how we treat it again and again without knowing. So if you want to age with strength, clarity, and peace of mind, stay with me until the end. You'll walk away with real, practical changes that could make every bite a little safer and a lot more healing. Before we begin, I would appreciate it if you like this video. It helps me keep sharing these healing lessons about growing older with strength and peace. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Now, let's begin. Have you ever opened your fridge, smiled at the leftover spinach soup you made with love, then unknowingly reheated something that could slowly harm your brain, your gut, even your memory? It seems unthinkable that something so green, so innocent, could turn against you. But the truth is, when spinach is reheated the wrong way, especially after it's been stored for a while, it doesn't nourish. It quietly betrays. Let's look at the science. In plain English, spinach is full of something called nitrates, and that's a good thing. Nitrates help your blood vessels relax, improve circulation, even lower blood pressure. But like a gentle herb that can turn poisonous if prepared wrong, nitrates can become dangerous when heated a second time. When spinach is cooked, cooled, stored, and then reheated, especially in a microwave, the nitrates can transform into nitrites and then into nitrosamines. These nitrosamines are not your friends. They've been studied by the World Health Organization and the National Cancer Institute, and linked to cancers of the stomach and colon, and possibly even neurodegenerative diseases like dementia. Here's the deeper concern for older adults. As we age, our body's ability to detoxify harmful compounds weakens. The liver slows down, cellular repair becomes less efficient, and inflammation becomes a frequent, silent guest in our tissues. That means small amounts of nitrosamines, the kind you might barely notice in your 30s, can have a deeper impact in your 60s or 70s. The brain, especially, becomes more vulnerable. According to research published in Neurology, chronic exposure to nitrosamines has been associated with inflammation that may lead to cognitive decline over time. Let me tell you about Harold, a 74-year-old widower who loves to cook. After his wife passed, he started making vegetable soup every Sunday. Spinach was his favorite ingredient, but he often reheated the same pot for 4 or 5 days. "It tastes the same," he'd say. "And it's healthy, right?" But over the years, Harold began noticing more brain fog. He'd forget why he walked into a room or leave the stove on. He brushed it off as normal aging until a nutritionist pointed out the risks of reheating high-nitrate foods like spinach. He switched to eating spinach fresh or cold, adding it to sandwiches, mixing it into cold pasta, or blending it into smoothies. Within a month, his energy and clarity improved, I didn't think something so simple could make a difference, he told me. But it did. Here's my personal insight. The betrayal isn't the spinach. It's the habit we were never warned about. You see, our generation was taught to save food, reheat leftovers, be efficient. But no one told us that sometimes warmth can distort nature. That heat, applied twice, can turn a healer into a hidden harm. It's not our fault, but it is now our responsibility to adapt. So what can you do? Simple. Eat spinach fresh when you can. If it's cooked into something, enjoy it cold the next day, like in a cold soup or salad. If you must reheat, do it slowly on a stove using low heat. And try to finish it within 1 or 2 days of cooking. Small change, quiet protection. This isn't about fear, it's about wisdom. You're not failing, you're adapting. You're learning to respect the silent power of heat and of healing. Have you ever noticed that some foods taste different when reheated? Do you trust your body when it whispers discomfort? Let me know in the comments. And if this insight helped you, like the video to support more healing knowledge for our age. We've just scratched the surface. If spinach surprised you, wait until you hear what happens when you reheat something as innocent as mashed potatoes. Food number 2, potatoes. The hidden danger behind comfort food. Have you ever reheated a plate of mashed potatoes? Soft, creamy, comforting, thinking it's just a simple, harmless leftover? For many of us, potatoes are more than food. They're a memory. The warmth of a Sunday roast, the quiet joy of a homemade dinner. But here's the quiet truth. When handled the wrong way, reheated potatoes can create an invisible threat, not just to your digestion, but to your brain and nervous system. Let's talk about the science in everyday language. When you cook a potato, its starches soften and become easy to digest. But once it cools, especially if it sits out for too long or is wrapped in foil, those starches begin to change. This process is called retrogradation, and it turns the starch into something known as resistant starch. Now, resistant starch isn't always bad. In small amounts, it can even support gut health. But here's where it gets risky. When cooled potatoes are stored improperly and then reheated, particularly in a microwave or wrapped in foil, they can become a breeding ground for Clostridium botulinum, a dangerous bacterium that causes botulism. This isn't a theoretical risk, it's real. This bacteria thrives in low oxygen, moist, starchy environments, exactly the condition inside a foil-wrapped, slowly cooled potato. And here's the alarming part. The toxin it produces is invisible, odorless, tasteless, but potentially lethal. Even if the potato smells fine, it could harbor a neurotoxin that affects your nervous system, causing dizziness, muscle weakness, and in severe cases, life-threatening illness. Now imagine someone like Harold. Yes, the same man who loved spinach soup. He also loved baked potatoes. He'd roast a big batch on Sunday, wrap them in foil, leave them to cool, then stick them in the fridge. On Tuesday, he'd pop one into the microwave for a quick lunch. He never suspected this habit could hurt him, but he started noticing unusual fatigue, stomach discomfort, even episodes of lightheadedness. His doctor ran tests, found no disease, but a functional nutritionist finally asked the right question. How are you storing and reheating your food? That simple awareness changed his life. Now Harold stores leftovers in glass containers, lets them cool quickly, and only reheats what he plans to eat. The change? Less brain fog, more stable energy, and no more unexplained stomach issues. Here's the deeper message. When you're over 60, the rules shift. Your immune system isn't as fast to respond. Your digestive lining isn't as thick. What used to be fine at 30 might now chip away at your vitality, one forkful at a time, especially when it comes to gut health. And as research in Frontiers in Neuroscience has shown, the health of your gut directly affects your brain. So what can you do instead? First, if you bake potatoes, skip the foil, or remove it before storing. Let them cool quickly. Then place them in a sealed glass container in the fridge. Try to reheat them on the stovetop or in an oven, evenly and gently. Better yet, enjoy cold potato slices tossed in olive oil, vinegar, and herbs. A rustic potato salad with all the comfort, none of the risk. And if something's been sitting in the fridge too long, trust your gut. When in doubt, throw it out. You're not being wasteful. You're being wise. This isn't decay. It's a return to rhythm. Every meal is a message to your future self. Do you often keep leftovers more than a day or two? Has your body ever felt off after eating something reheated? Let's talk about it in the comments. And if you're still with me, like this video to support more healing truths for our generation. If potatoes caught you off guard, the next one might hit even closer to home, because it's something many of us eat every single morning. Food number 3, eggs. When protein turns against the brain, do you microwave your boiled egg in the morning just to take the chill off? Or maybe reheat yesterday's scrambled eggs for a quick breakfast? If so, you're not alone. Eggs are simple, wholesome, and reliable. But when eggs are reheated, especially in the microwave, something subtle happens, something your body may not forget. Let's make the science gentle and clear. Eggs are rich in high-quality protein, healthy fats, and a powerful nutrient called choline. Vital for your brain, especially memory. When we cook eggs the first time, their proteins denature. They unfold, reconfigure, and become easy to digest. But when we reheat them, especially at high heat or in uneven bursts like in a microwave, those proteins go through another transformation. They toughen, harden, and more importantly, the cholesterol in the yolk begins to oxidize. That oxidation creates compounds known as oxysterols. And here's the rub. Oxysterols have been linked to inflammation, arterial damage, and even memory loss. For a younger body, that might not cause immediate harm. But for someone in their 60s or 70s, this daily ritual, reheat, eat, repeat, can quietly stir the fires of chronic inflammation. And inflammation is no small matter. According to Nature Review's Neurology, it plays a key role in neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's and dementia. That means something as ordinary as yesterday's egg sandwich could be part of a bigger, long-term picture. Let's return to Harold. He used to boil 6 eggs on Sunday to make his week easier. Each morning, he'd grab one from the fridge and give it just 20 seconds in the microwave. He thought it was smart, efficient. But over time, he started noticing pressure in his chest, bouts of tiredness after breakfast, and most frustratingly, words slipping from his memory mid-sentence. It wasn't until he attended a local senior wellness class that someone explained the dangers of oxidized cholesterol. He started eating his eggs cold, in salads, sliced over avocado toast, or even just with a pinch of salt and pepper. A few weeks later, he said, "It feels like my mornings got clearer." My own reflection? We often see reheating as harmless, a modern convenience. But in truth, our food remembers what it's been through. And when we add heat again and again, we're not just warming it. We're reshaping its chemistry, and sometimes stealing its gentleness from our bodies. So how can you honor your health while still enjoying eggs? Cook only what you'll eat fresh when possible. If you prep ahead, enjoy them cold, sliced into a sandwich, crumbled onto a salad, or even dipped in hummus. If you must reheat, avoid the microwave. Use low heat on the stovetop for a slow, even warming, and never reheat more than once. Store them in the fridge no longer than 2 to 3 days, and trust your senses. If something smells off, don't risk it. Eggs are still a gift from nature, but only when we treat them with care. You're not fragile, you're just more finely tuned. And your body deserves food that respects that rhythm. Have you noticed how reheated eggs taste different or feel heavier afterward? What's your favorite way to enjoy eggs cold or fresh? Let me know in the comments. and give this video a thumbs up if it's opening your eyes to the healing power of small changes. Now, if you think eggs were risky, just wait until we get to chicken, because that one might be the most surprising of all. Food number 4, chicken, the silent source of inflammation. You cooked a beautiful roasted chicken on Sunday, golden, juicy, perfectly seasoned. You stored the leftovers, planning ahead for the busy week. Tuesday comes, you're hungry, you're practical, so you reheat a piece in the microwave and move on with your day. But what if that one quick action is quietly feeding the fire of inflammation inside you? Let's pause and gently unpack what happens. Chicken, like most meats, is rich in protein. When you cook it the first time, heat transforms the protein's structure, making it easier for your digestive system to break down. But when you reheat it, especially using high heat or uneven methods like microwaving, those proteins go through a second transformation. They become stiffer, tougher, and harder to digest. And that's not just a culinary issue. For your body, especially after 60, that change can quietly disrupt your balance. But here's where it gets deeper. Reheated chicken can produce a group of compounds called advanced glycation end products, or AGEs. These form when protein and fat are repeatedly exposed to high heat. According to research in Nutritional Biochemistry and the Journals of Gerontology, AGEs are linked to chronic, low-grade inflammation, the kind that doesn't cause a fever or pain, but quietly affects your joints, your heart, even your memory over time. Inflammation is like a slow fire burning under the surface. It doesn't announce itself loudly. It just makes you feel more tired than usual, less clear-headed, maybe more achy in the morning. And if you're already dealing with high blood pressure, arthritis, or brain fog, those reheated chicken pieces might be pushing your body just a little closer to the edge. Harold, for instance, used to roast chicken every week. He'd slice it up, store it neatly in containers, and reheat portions daily. "I thought I was being healthy," he said. "Better than takeout." But by Thursday, he noticed his digestion felt heavier, his energy more sluggish, and his thinking less sharp. When a dietitian explained how repeated heating could produce AGEs, Harold changed course. Now, he eats smaller portions freshly cooked, or adds cold chicken to salads and wraps. "I didn't think it would matter," he told me, "but I feel lighter now, like my body isn't fighting after every meal." And that's the truth. After 60, your body isn't broken. It's simply more sensitive, more honest. It tells you when something isn't right. Reheating chicken the wrong way is like ignoring its quiet signals over and over again. So how can you make this simple shift? If you're cooking chicken, try to make smaller batches you'll eat fresh. If you store leftovers, cool them quickly and use glass containers, not plastic or foil. And when reheating, skip the microwave. Use a low flame on the stove or a warm oven to gently bring it back to temperature. Better still, enjoy it cold, sliced into a salad, wrapped in lettuce, or mixed into a light pasta. Let the protein stay whole, not warped. This isn't about fear, it's about freedom. You're not losing strength. You're choosing peace, and peace often begins in the belly. Have you ever felt bloated or tired after reheating meat? What small adjustment could you try this week to protect your digestion? Leave a comment to let me know. And if this part spoke to you, like this video so we can keep sharing these truths with others your age. And now we come to the last, and possibly most delicate, food of all. A food that brings earthy comfort and deep nutrition until it's reheated. Mushrooms. Food number 5. Mushrooms, the nutrient that turns on you if reheated. You probably know mushrooms are good for your immune system, for your brain, for your gut. You've seen them in every healthy cookbook, rich in antioxidants, low in calories, full of earthy flavor. But have you ever noticed how mushrooms feel different when you reheat them? Softer, chewier, maybe even a little rubbery? That shift in texture isn't just a cooking issue. It's a quiet warning, one your body may already be feeling. You see, mushrooms are unique among vegetables. They're made of delicate proteins, beneficial enzymes, and complex phytonutrients that support immunity and even fight cancer. But they're also fragile. When mushrooms are cooked the first time, their structure gently releases these nutrients. But when you reheat them, especially in the microwave, or worse, multiple times, their proteins break down further. Their fats oxidize. Their enzymes degrade. And what was once nourishment becomes inflammation. This oxidative stress, the same stress that ages your skin, dulls your mind, and tires your body, is quietly triggered by reheated mushrooms. When mushrooms are stored improperly, say in plastic containers that collect moisture, or left sitting too long in the fridge, they're even more vulnerable. Add a microwave blast, and you now have food that can increase the load on your liver and digestive system instead of relieving it. And for seniors, especially those who already live with joint pain, bloating, or memory struggles, this load is heavier than you think. According to emerging studies in cellular aging and neurobiology of disease, oxidized food compounds can trigger immune responses that contribute to cognitive fog, chronic fatigue, and even suppressed immune defenses. Harold learned this the hard way. He loved mushroom risotto. Every Friday, he'd make a big pot with oyster mushrooms, creminis, garlic, and herbs. It was his comfort meal. But he noticed that by Saturday or Sunday, whenever he microwaved the leftovers, he'd feel heavier, not just in his stomach, but in his thoughts. "It's like my brain got fogged up," he said. After reading about the oxidative changes in reheated mushrooms, he switched to making smaller portions and eating any leftovers cold, tossed into a salad with olive oil and lemon. Within 2 weeks, the fog began to lift. The truth is, your body isn't just responding to what you eat. It's responding to how it was treated. When we overheat something fragile, like mushrooms, we don't just change the flavor. We change its relationship with our body. And your body, especially after 60, wants peace, not more inflammation. So what can you do? First, store cooked mushrooms in sealed glass containers, not plastic. Avoid letting them sit too long in the fridge, and don't reheat them more than once. If you do reheat, do it slowly on low heat. Or better yet, try enjoying leftover mushrooms cold, over leafy greens in a wrap, or simply drizzled with olive oil. Their flavor holds up beautifully, even without the heat. This isn't about giving up the foods you love. It's about honoring them and yourself. Your body is asking to be cared for gently, and you deserve to listen. Do you cook mushrooms often? Have you ever tried them cold or stored differently? I'd love to hear your experience. Drop it in the comments below. And if this video is helping you reimagine your kitchen, don't forget to like it and share with someone who might benefit too. We've now explored the 5 foods that, when reheated, can quietly turn from friends into foes. But this isn't the end. It's the beginning of a wiser, more healing relationship with what we eat. Let's wrap it all together in the final reflection. Let's come back to that quiet moment, standing by the microwave, reheating what you thought was a healthy meal. Spinach soup, mashed potatoes, a boiled egg, leftover chicken, or mushroom risotto. You weren't doing anything wrong. You were simply feeding yourself with love and practicality. But now, you know something deeper. These 5 everyday foods, when reheated the wrong way, can create small, silent stresses inside your body. Inflammation, oxidative damage, toxin buildup. Not loud, not immediate, but steady. Especially after the age of 60, these little choices add up. And yet, this is not a message of fear. It's a message of power. Because once you understand, you're no longer stuck in the dark. You can choose to eat spinach fresh, to store potatoes smartly, to enjoy eggs cold, to warm chicken gently, to treat mushrooms with respect. These are not restrictions. They are quiet revolutions in how you care for your aging body. With intention, not habit. You are not broken. You are awakening. You are not fragile. You are finally listening. And your body, even now, still wants to serve you with energy, clarity, and strength. If this video helped you see your kitchen differently, I invite you to share one small thing you'll do differently starting today. Leave it in the comments, even just a sentence. If this spoke to you, leave a comment and write, Number 1, let me know you're still with me. Before we go, I would appreciate it if you like this video. It helps me keep sharing these healing lessons about growing older with strength and peace. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Subscribe for more healing truths and positive energy, because aging should never mean silence, shame, or surrender. See you in the next video.